Our final lessons in Unit 2 looked at the characteristics of developed and developing countries. We're going to start off Unit 3 by looking at the characteristics of the United States and Canada that help us determine that these are developed countries. One of the first things that signals that the United States and Canada are developed nations is our infrastructure. Infrastructure is the support systems that keep an economy going. This includes roads, highways, bridges, railroads and other transportation networks, electricity, fiber optics for internet access, wastewater treatment, and education systems and banks. The well-established infrastructure encourages mobility for both trade and leisure activities, which supports the high standard of living. The economic activities of the U.S. and Canada are driven by the automobile. Get it? Driven? Plenty of gas stations, hotels and motels for travelers, interstate highways to help us drive more efficiently. We have several here in Hampton Roads, Interstate 64, 264, 464, 564, 664. Plenty of drive-up services as well. We can get a meal, pick up a prescription, and do our banking all without getting out of our vehicle. When we look at the various structures, we also see evidence of developed countries. We have a variety of religious buildings reflecting many faiths and cultures. People live in a variety of types of housing, rural, multi-story houses, urban high-rises, and suburban homes as well. All these types of architectural structures point to a developed economy with access to many different building materials and resources. The United States and Canada both have democratic forms of government, which is made for a long history of being good neighbors. The 49th parallel marks the border between the U.S. and Canada and is the longest unfortified border in the world. It's 5,525 miles long. The U.S. and Canada are both members of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO is a military alliance that is made up of many developed countries, including many European countries. And these countries are also democratic. The United States and Canada have a variety of economic activities. While many jobs are in the service industry, we also have abundant natural resources and fertile soil for farming, which are primary level economic activities. We specialize in the development of technology and information systems, as well as producing food for ourselves and the world. The United States in particular is home to many countries that do business all around the world. These are called multinational corporations and include many information technology and computing companies, as well as pharmaceutical companies. The United States and Canada, along with Mexico, were members of an economic union called NAFTA, which has now been renamed the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement. Let's watch this video for a quick reminder of what NAFTA is all about.
What is NAFTA? The letters stand for North American Free Trade Agreement. Starting in 1994, it bound the U.S., Canada, and Mexico into a single free trade zone. That means avocados from Mexico, auto parts from the U.S., oil from Canada, and thousands of other products can cross borders tax-free within the NAFTA zone. NAFTA was signed by President Bill Clinton and was intended to encourage trade between the three countries. Canada was already America's top trading partner, so the agreement's big goal was to link Mexico to its northern neighbors and modernize its economy. By creating good jobs in Mexico, it was expected to reduce the number of Mexicans crossing illegally into the U.S. to find work. From the beginning, critics warned the deal would hurt American workers.
Pay $1 an hour for your labor, have no health care, and no retirement, and you don't care about anything but making money, there will be a giant sucking sound going south.
True enough, many American companies set up factories in Mexico. America's trade surplus with Mexico turned into a big deficit. And despite NAFTA's intentions, the number of Mexicans living illegally in the U.S. more than doubled between 1995 and 2007, before going into a steady decline. But economists say the impact on U.S. jobs overall has been small, partly because the $19 trillion American economy is so huge that trade with Mexico doesn't make much difference. American consumers benefited as cheaper products were shipped north. Detroit has done a booming business supplying auto parts to the Mexican factories that assemble cars. companies with operations straddling the U.S.-Mexican border warn that rewriting or canceling NAFTA would throw their businesses into disarray. Some economists worry that a disruption in trade with the U.S. will wreck Mexico's economy and send more migrants across the border in search of work.
Economic status in the United States is diverse. While we've enjoyed steady economic growth for many years, it is often the case that those who are already earning very high incomes continue to increase their income at a much faster rate than the other 95% of the country. Thank you for your attention to this video. Be sure you have completed the guiding questions. Then you will read a textbook selection with short pre- and post-reading activities.